Let's turn things over to the broadcast booth. The pregame show starts now.
All right, welcome. We're live here at Jim Gotta Stadium. Hope you're having a great day. It's a little bit cooler than on most Dakota Fusion soccer game days today, but it's otherwise perfect. I mean, there's no sun blazing down. I highly doubt you'll get any water breaks today like you have in previous Dakota Fusion games on both the men's and the women's side. The Dakota Fusion still looking for their first win of the year. It's not going to be an easy test today as they are taking on a team that has never lost, but they have one game that they haven't won either, and that was a tie against Salvo, and we all know who watched that game, how Salvo did against the Dakota Fusion. So this will be another tough task here, and we'll see if the Dakota Fusion defense can step it up and maybe get a couple more opportunities with a shot on net here. That's absolutely what's going to be needed to be done in order to stay competitive here with the Minnesota Thunder Academy. Come in ranked number 1 of the conference, and they're ranked number 5 out of 94 teams in the power rankings on the WPSL power rankings as of last week. So that, in other words, they're a pretty good team. They're 7-0-1, 1-5, or number 1 in the conference, 5 in the power rankings. Their goalkeeper between net is Catherine Gregoire, and then Carter Quinn will be starting again today here for the Dakota Fusion. Let's go ahead and take a look at those WPSL standings here. As you can see, Minnesota Thunder right on top. They only have that one draw that was against Salvo. Sioux Falls City has moved up, and Dakota Fusion actually played Sioux Falls City pretty well here recently on, I believe it was Friday, if I remember correctly, down in Sioux Falls. It was a lot warmer that day than it is here today. Let's put it that way. Maplebrook sitting in 4. So if the playoffs started today, it would be Minnesota Thunder, Sioux Falls City, Salvo SC, and Maplebrook Fury, and then you got in 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and 10 is Joy AC, Mountato FC, St. Croix Soccer Club, Rochester United, Mankato United, and Dakota Fusion. Once again, 3 points for a win, 1 point for a tie, no points for a loss. Tiebreakers are head-to-head outcomes and goal differential, and then if you need to go further than that, it will result in a coin flip. So that's how they break those down there. Let's see here. I don't have any of the other stuff back. Once again, I appreciate your patience in yesterday's game as I was out of town trying to make my way back, and had a great crew come up here and do a great job in my absence. I certainly appreciate the efforts of the 3 individuals that came up here to get that game on the air yesterday. So, but I am glad to be back. It was a long drive, and man, it was great to get a power nap in before coming here. Originally today, I thought it was 12 noon, so I was really scrambling this morning, and then I got here, and I was like, oh, wait, my phone says 3 o'clock, so we got a 3 o'clock kick here instead. All right, let's go ahead and take a look at your starting lineups here. For the 7-0-1 Minnesota Thunder, once again, in goal is going to be Catherine Gregoire. Starting at defense will be Vivian Rojas Collins. Starting in the forward position will be Caitlin McBean. Starting at midfielder will be Sophia Caballero. And starting at defense will be Grace Polito. And then midfielder will be Kelsey Callio. And another midfielder will be Paige Kalau, wearing number 10. At midfield will also be Dara Andringa, number 17. Another midfielder will be number 27, Taylor Heimerol. There we go. I had to look at my pronunciations there. And then number 42, a forward, Paige Peltier. And then number 98, a defenseman, Carolyn Bailey. Coaches for Minnesota Thunder are Danny Storline, and I talked to him down at right before we came on air here, and he's a great guy. Along with Dominic Dunez, Carolyn Bailey, and Lauren Whitty. For the Dakota Fusion, it is Quinn Carter starting in goal. And then we also have at midfielder is Yapina. I'm sorry, I'm learning the last name first. Alicia Yapina. And then starting at forward would be Jensen Seidel. Starting at defense will be number 5, McKenna Bishop. At number forward at number 7, Blake Hurley. Midfielder number 8, Madeline Etter. Defense number 10, Emily Larson. Forward number 11, Olivia Watson. Number 12, Jace Herman, the defenseman. Let's see here. Caden Sharp, number 15 at midfield. They also have Ava Kieser, a midfielder, wearing number 16. Wearing number 17 is Ashley. I don't recognize this name from previous rosters. Ashley, I'm going to have to, Ashley C. We'll go with that until I ask what her last name is. And then also starting at midfielder is Hallie Thompson, number 21. Morgan Batchelor, number 23, and Mason Kimball, number 26, will be the defenseman. And I don't know if I skipped over her or not, but Hallie Thompson, number 21, a midfielder. And those are your starters for the Dakota Fusion. The Fusion, they since we saw them play against the against Salvo, pull it up here really quick. They had a 1-0 loss to Joy Athletic Club and then a 2-1 loss to Sioux Falls City. And once again, Sioux Falls City currently ranked number 2 right behind the Minnesota Thunder. So that should hopefully show some good signs here. They lost by 1 goal and scored a goal on the second best team in the league, and now they get the first best team in the league here in the Minnesota Thunder. After today, they're on the road to close out the regular season against St. Croix Soccer Club, and that game is on Friday, June 30th, coming up here in about 5 days or so. It's a 4 o'clock kick from Stillwater Area High School for the St. Croix. That's the home field for St. Croix Soccer Club. For the Minnesota Thunder, like I said, 7-0-1. They started the season back on May 31st with a 4-2 win over Manitou FC. Then that 1-1 tie with Salvo on the second game of the season. They would stomp on Mankato United 5-1 and then put a bigger stomp on St. Croix Soccer Club 7-2, the final score back on June 9th. And then they would just seem to get a little bit better and a little bit better. 9-1 win over Joy AC, and then they would face the number 2 team in the conference currently. And Minnesota Thunder's been ranked 1 pretty much since the first game of the season. They would get a 3-1 win over Sioux Falls City. And then the Thunder would get a 9-0 win over Rochester United. That brings them into today's matchup with Dakota Fusion. After today, they have one more game on Wednesday, June 28th, when they will take on Maplebrook Fury. And that would be a home game for the Minnesota Thunder to close out the regular season on June 28th at 7 p.m. So that is a look at what the Minnesota Thunder have done so far in their last couple games coming up. We also have one more men's game on the schedule here, and that's going to be against LCRS. So now you see all the you've been seeing the standings for a little bit now, and we'll bring it back to our live camera here. We're going to take just a short time out, and we'll keep our camera on, and we'll be back in a moment. right, let's go with starting that. So we'll start with the visiting Minnesota Thunder Academy. We'll start with the goalkeepers and then go in numerical order from there. Starting in net for the Minnesota Thunder is number 0, Catherine Gregoire. Starting at defense is number 3, Vivian Rojas Collins. Starting at forward, number 4, Caitlin McBean. Starting at midfielder, number 5, Sophia Caballero. Starting at defense is number 6, Grace Polidal. Starting at midfielder is number 8, Kelsey Calillo. Starting at midfielder, number 10, Paige Kalau. Also starting at midfielder is number 17, Dara Adringa. Starting at midfielder, number 27, Taylor Amaro. Starting at forward, number 42, Paige Peltier. And starting at defense is number 98, Caroline Bailey. And those are your starters for the Minnesota Thunder Academy. And now for your Dakota Fusion. Starting in net is number 0, Quinn Carter. Starting at midfielder is number 2, Alicia Ipina. Starting at forward, starting at defense is number 5, McKenna Bishop. Starting at forward, number 7, Blake Hurley. Starting at midfielders, number 8, Madeline Eder. Starting at defense is number 10, Emily Larson. Starting at midfielder, number 16, Ava Kieser. Starting at forward, number 17, Ashley Shoma. If I got that wrong, I apologize. Number 21, starting midfielder, is Hallie Thompson. Starting at defense is number 23, Morgan Batchelor. And starting at defense, number 26, Mason Kimball. All right, now if you could rise if you're able, the flag is shifted to the opposite side of the field over by the concession stand. And remove your hats and we'll play the national anthem. Best of luck to both teams in today's contest. Let's play some soccer. All right, and a great job by our PA announcer there for getting all those getting all those names pronounced right. And the one that we were confused about in our pregame show is actually Ashley Choman. And that's the only one our PA announcer got wrong. But I'll give him credit. That's like 20-some players, 19 out of 20. Yeah, he gets an A for that one. So, so thanks once again for tuning into this broadcast, whether you're watching on the Dakota Fusion YouTube channel, on 11 Sports, or on Magnitude Sports. We certainly appreciate you tuning in today and hope that you enjoyed today's contest. The referees were not written in for me today. Let me check the other sheet I have to see if they're written in on that sheet. And no, they were not. So I don't know who the referees are, but that's 100% okay. 3 sheets and no refs, but that's okay. The referees are in green today. The Dakota Fusion in the yellow jerseys with black numerals, and the Minnesota Thunder are in the white jerseys with dark blue numerals and baby blue colored socks covering up their shin guards. And the coin toss will go to the Minnesota Thunder here first. All right, we're underway here in the first half of this one. The Thunder take control right away. Move it down into the middle of the field. Nice pass into the outlet side there for Taylor Heimerol. Now they'll drop it back up top. Try and short kick inside. Headed out there by the Fusion defense. And now cleared out to the defenders there. It's picked up by the Thunder's Grace Polito. And now we'll move the ball to the outside. So far, so good for the Thunder. Showing off some great passing skills here, and they've really, that's one thing we didn't go over was the keys of the game. And that's one thing I intended to go over, but I forgot to do it. And so my apologies for that. But for the Dakota Fusion, if I remember what I wrote in there, and you'd think if I wrote it that I would remember it, but you'd be surprised at how much information I have to write down and try and keep track of. But we kind of talked about it in that last game against Salvo. If they get in trouble, they want to clear it out to the sideline. They want to clear it out, but they want to clear it out to the sideline. You know, that'll give themselves a little bit of a chance to get a breather and not have to worry about the Minnesota Thunder coming right back at them, like they would if they were to clear it out, say, in the middle of the field. Because a lot of times the clears for the Dakota Fusion go to the opponent, and then they come right back, and that kind of wears a little bit. And, and a nice foot save there by Quinn Carter. And that was an opportunity of a lifetime there for the Minnesota Thunder, and maybe even a save of a lifetime for Quinn Carter. Nice job there. She got her right foot on it and kept that one out. And the Thunder nearly had an opportunity right before that, too. But the Dakota Fusion defender headed it out there when her goalie was trying to get her hands on it, and that could have resulted in dangerous things there. But Fusion with a nice save from Quinn Carter, keep it a 0-0 game. But the Thunder right back on the attack, looking for that centering pass, and they get it into the back of the net, and that is a goal for the Minnesota Thunder in the 3rd minute. Not exactly sure who scored that goal, but something tells me it was number 10. I'll try and get a confirmation on that here. So the Fusion have an offensive possession here. They'll get it up onto the foot of Choman, and now it's quickly taken away there by Polito. They'll work it out to the far side. This is the first time that the ball's been on this side of the field for more than a split second. And now the Minnesota Thunder bring it right back. And they got an opening there. Running up on it is Taylor Heimerol. And that'll be saved by Quinn Carter. So 1-0 Thunder here in the 3rd minute of play. And we believe it was number 10, Paige Kalau, but if it's, we'll try and confirm that here as soon as possible. All right, we sent a message down to the officials to try and get clarification on who scored the goal there. I believe it was number 10, but I don't want to announce it in case I was wrong. So come back now here. It's Polito with it. Polito will flip it over to the far side there. Number 98, that's Carolyn Bailey, one of the higher numbers you see outside of a goalie position on a player that's actually on the field. Nice inside pass there. That's Paige Peltier, and she will score. And it is 2-0 here. Minnesota Thunder Academy have the lead, and Paige Peltier with that goal. And that goal comes in the 5th minute of play, and it's 2-0 here in favor of the Minnesota Thunder Academy. So the Thunder will, or the Dakota Fusion will get the ball here. Scoring the second goal for the Thunder is number 42, Paige Peltier. So the Thunder out to a quick 2-0 start here as we enter into the 6th minute of play. And that through ball is intercepted by the Fusion defense, but then Minnesota Thunder get it right back. If I accidentally call them the Twin Stars, I apologize. Here's Taylor Heimerol, and that's over the end line for a goalie kick here for the Fusion. Carter will get that out. It's first touch by the Thunder and then drop back. And a nice backheel kick there onto the foot of Polito. And over on the far sideline, the Thunder Academy will work it up. And then I also sometimes get them confused with the Sioux Falls Thunder. So we have our first corner kick from the far side. Can't quite see who's taking that corner kick, but that's okay. We'll figure out that far side sooner than later. Nice placement of that ball, and it was nearly headed in, and a nice defensive play there by Jace Herman. And it'll result in another corner kick from the far side, and it appears to be Paige Kalau who will be taking that corner kick from the far side. It appears to be her. Another one. That first one was placed nicely. This one placed in the right spot, but none of her teammates were in a position to really get a shot on goal from it. And it'll be poked away there by Blake Hurley off the foot of Madeline Poor. And it'll be another corner kick, this time from the near side here for the Thunder. Another one nicely placed. Tried to knee it in there, but it got deflected out to the top of the box. Fusion will touch up on it, and there they go. That's one of the keys of the game. Clear it to that sideline there, and that allows everybody to get a little bit of a breather, even though it does result in a Minnesota Thunder throw-in. And one of the keys of the game that we had written down for the Thunder was to control the tempo of this game. Anybody who can control the tempo of a game against the Dakota Fusion is 8 times out of 10 going to possibly win that game or at least come out of it with a draw. So this will be another corner kick from the near side. And it is indeed Paige Kalau, and I am more confident now that she scored that first goal. I'm going to go ahead and write it into my scorebook. So if your first name is Paige, they've scored a goal in this game. Paige Kalau in the 3rd minute and Paige Peltier in the 5th minute. And now Carter will set it up here for a goal kick. She'll put her right leg on it and send it up just shy of midfield. And that's about her average distance. Headed out to the far sideline there by Paige Peltier, the player who scored goal number 2 for the Thunder Academy. You would think that with only one team using Thunder on the WPSL side and 2 teams on the NPSL side using Thunder in some part of their name, that I would not have trouble not mixing them up, but you'd be surprised. But I think so far I have done a good job on that. I'll move it right into the center there. Incidental contact, no whistle, and that was the right call. And now the Fusion might have an opportunity. And she's onside, but can she catch up to it? No. It's going to go all the way back to Gregoire. And Gregoire will immediately toss it out near side here to Vivian Rojas Collins. And Rojas Collins will send it up midfield there and put it onto the foot of McBean. McBean will drop it back. Now they'll send it all the way back to Gregoire. Rojas Collins, wearing number 3, puts it onto the foot there of Dara Andringa. And that was a nice pass up ahead there by Heimerall, but it went right over to Quinn Carter and a little bit beyond her teammates' ability to catch up to it. Fusion trying to create an opportunity, but it's immediately deflected back there by, I'm not sure who that is. I didn't catch the jersey number. Once again, those far side players, once they come to the near side, I'll know who they are. And then the near side players, when they go to the far side in the second half, I'll already have those memorized by then. So, but got 22 players out there. And when you're only familiar with 11 of them, I'd say that that's not one of the easier tasks to do in this particular sport. It's picked up there by Andringa. She'll fire it over to the far side. It's controlled, looking for a centering pass, and she'll send it in, but it's across the face of the goal and over the end line for a goal kick for Quinn Carter and the Fusion. As we've entered the 12th minute of play now here in the first half. 2-0 on goals by Paige Kalal in the 3rd minute and Paige Peltier. I need to look at my roster where I wrote down the phonetic spellings in a way that I can actually read them. And then on my scorecard, I just kind of scribble it in there, and I have to hesitate and look back at my legible handwriting because I can only read 50% of my handwriting. So Carter will get it set up here, and she'll launch one up just shy of midfield, where it's immediately touched up there by, well, according to the roster, that's Mackenzie Jacobson, but she was crossed out. But that, either that or it was number 17. There might have been a 1 in front of that 7. So, yep, and there was. Her ponytail was covering up the 1. So, understandable mistake there. Andringa is wearing number 17, playing in the midfield position for the Minnesota Thunder Academy. Now they're going to work it up the far sideline here. And with some speed, they might be able to create an opportunity, and that centering pass is deflected right out there and then headed back into the middle of the field where there's 3 yellow jerseys and only 1 white one. So that was a smart move, but somehow the Thunder Academy come up with the ball, and now they will try and create themselves another opportunity here. Nice defense on the far side. It hits the pole. I think that's a throw-in, maybe not. I'm not sure. I've never seen one hit the pole before, so I don't know if that's a throw-in or a corner kick. It'll be a throw-in. Okay, learned something today. That's cleared out far sideline. Throw-in from just in front of midfield here for the Thunder Academy. All the way back here to Gregoire. And she'll flip it out to the far side where it's advanced up to midfield. And the Thunder Academy will bring it back once again. Nice centering pass, and now an opportunity here for McBean, and it bounces off Quinn Carter, and that should be a corner kick. And it is. And going out to take that corner kick will be Kalau. For the Minnesota Thunder Academy fans tuning into the broadcast, thank you so much for tuning in. We wish your team the best of luck, and so far so good for your team. And they continue to impress here.
Up on her.
That is Rojas Collins, number 3. That pass was intended for Paige Peltier, who scored the second goal. And now back the other way here for the Fusion. It's Ashley Choman.
Nice hold.
And that's onside. Choman gets it back. Can she get a foot on it? She'll put it on net, and a diving save there by Gregoire. A nice chance for the Fusion there, and they need to create more opportunities like that one, and they need to not be afraid to shoot from afar. That was the other key to the game, is shoot from afar. Don't think you have to get in close to try and score on these goalies. If you're at the top of the goal box or even 5-10 yards further out, don't be afraid to put a shot on net there if no pass opportunity is available to get closer. And now the Thunder put a nice feed pass one-on-one, and a nice job by Quinn Carter defensively there on Taylor Heimerol. Heimerol should have had an easy goal, but Quinn Carter did everything she was supposed to. And that will make the goalkeeper coach put a big smile on her face for that effort there. Quinn Carter doing a phenomenal job. Can she do it again? One-on-one centering pass, and it's too far. It was right in front of McBean, but McBean was a couple steps behind the pass, and as a result, it'll roll out to the far side. Over the end line should be a goal kick here for Carter and the Fusion. So outside of those first 2 goals in the first 5 minutes or so, the Fusion defense has appeared to step it up a little bit here. And a good 40% of that defense has come from Quinn Carter. She's made a couple remarkable saves so far here in the first 17 minutes of this of play of this match. All right, we had an issue with the outfield clock there. I got it running again. It stopped for some reason, and now we got it running again. So, but our clock you see on your screen is accurate. We're in the 18th minute. So Carter has it set up for a goal kick here. Looks like coming into the game is Caden Sharp, number 15 for the Dakota Fusion. She'll go in over on the far side. That one's launched up, headed forward, and now with an opportunity here is Choman. And she's had a couple opportunities. That one will escape her, though, and go right back to Gregoire as the Thunder try and bring it back to the other end of the field. Nice pass up there by Rojas Collins. And now McBean has an opportunity. One-on-one, centering pass, and it's fired into the back of the net. And it's another goal for the Minnesota Thunder Academy, and they now lead 3-0 here as that goal comes in the 14th minute of play. And I believe it was Peltier again. I'm just waiting to get a glimpse of the jersey number, and it was. So Paige Peltier with her second goal of the game, and it's 3-0 now. Once again, that goal coming in the I think I said the wrong minute earlier because I was looking at the wrong clock. It actually came in the 19th minute. And it's her second goal of the game. Scoring the goal for the Fusion in the 19th minute. It's her second of the game, number 42, Paige Peltier. Fusion will try and create themselves an opportunity, but it's immediately taken away there by Andringa. And now back onto the foot of Rojas Collins. Collins will send it up, deflected there by Emily Larson. Now they'll get it back to midfield. All right, our clock on the field is now back on track. So thank you for your patience on that. With the ball here is Heimerl, and that one's deflected out. And to the near sideline, it will be controlled here by the Fusion. As Blake Hurley got a touch on it, but quickly defended there by Adringa. And now it's dumped back here onto the foot of Polito, and Polito will send it over to the far side. So they'll try and work it up that far sideline again. And so far, it's been working. Fusion seemed to get it up to about midfield or a little bit past midfield right before the Thunder get the ball back and bring it all the way down to the other end of the field like they're doing right now here with Adringa. And now McBean, as Quinn Carter came out, and McBean has an opportunity, and it's a centering pass, and there's nobody there for the Thunder Academy, and it's a chance for the Fusion to clear. They get it up onto the foot of Cholman. Looks like we have, there we go, now my headset's working again. Looks like we have substitutions for both teams. They're going to let the Fusion one go in first. Jensen Seidel, wearing number 3, will check into the lineup here for the Fusion. Now get Cholman a breather on the sideline for a little bit. So once again, 3-0 with goals in the 3rd, 5th, and 19th minute. Paige Kalal in the 3rd minute, and Paige Peltier in the 5th and 19th minute to make it 1-0, 2-0, and 3-0 respectively. And now coming out here for the Minnesota Thunder Academy is Darren Adringa. And going in is Madeline Poore, number 12. And also going in for the Thunder Academy is Ashley Thirk, number 9. And also going in is Kendall Stadden, number 14. Think we got them all. So it'll be a throw-in from the far side here for the Thunder Academy. Once again, 7-0-1. Their one tie came against Salvo SC. And that was the last team that the Dakota Fusion had a chance to play here at home. They had that game against Sioux Falls City. And then also a game against Joy AC, both of them on the road in, between the Salvo game and today's game. And like I said, in that Salvo game, they'd have a chance to look at some tape and say, okay, here's what went wrong here, here's what's wrong here, and we can do things better if we do this and do that and that type of a thing. So even though it wasn't the best of games, there's a lot of learning opportunity from a game like that one. And it's certainly showing in this particular contest here. Yep, they're down 3-0, but it could be a lot worse. There's been a couple of chances where the Thunder Academy probably should have put it into the back of the net. It could easily be 6-0 right now in favor of the Minnesota Thunder Academy, but a couple of fantastic saves by Quinn Carter and another fantastic save. I believe it was Cholman who made a save right at the goal line when her goalie Quinn Carter was kind of out of the play after making the previous save. So, like I said, it could be a lot worse than 3-0 right now here. And the Dakota Fusion doing a good job of staying in this matchup. Of course, the men's game yesterday was a pretty fun game, back and forth. Handful of ties. I think it was tied at 1-1, 3-3, 4-4, and then the Dakota Fusion finally took a 5-4 lead, and that 5-4 win to go along with the 2-1 win over Sioux Falls Thunder earlier this season has been the only team that that the Dakota Fusion has swept here in the regular season. McBean cuts through some defenders, and another nice save by Quinn McCarter. Outstanding. Quinn Carter has just been a step above, like from what I've seen in previous games. And a nice control there, and by Jensen Seidel, who tried to make a move up front there, but it was taken away, and now the Minnesota Thunder Academy will play pass here as they'll get it onto the near sideline onto the foot of Heimerall. Heimerall will scoot it in from McBean. McBean with a nice pass through the defenders, but cannot been able to catch up to it there was Kendall Stadden. So in addition to some great goalkeeping here by Quinn Carter, the Dakota Fusion are doing their best to create themselves some opportunities here. Free kick is immediately touched up there by the Thunder Academy. They'll bounce it back here to Rojas Collins. I might just call her Collins if that's okay, because that's a long last name. It's like a double last name or something like that, but I'll try my best. It's like I know it's Rojas, and I always forget what the second part is. I have to look down my roster. Fusion will clear it out, and that will be either that defender or the goalie. They'll probably drop it back. No, they will not. They will control it and send it back into the middle of the field here. Don't know if that pass was intended there for Rojas Collins, but that's who the pass ended up going to. And now that through ball is all the way into the hands of Quinn Carter. She'll scoop that one up and let her teammates get a little bit of a breather and get downfield. She usually has about a 30, 40-yard kick in her foot. And that was about a 34-yard kick, so about spot on. Fusion will control it. Hurley tried to tip a pass forward. It was immediately defended there by Rojas Collins. And now that I've said what I said earlier, now I know what the second part of her last name is, so I don't need to worry about that anymore. Ball out of bounds. It should be a throw-in here for the Minnesota Thunder Academy, and it will be. They'll drop it back and putting a shot on goal, and it's a little wide left. That shot came off the foot of Sofia Caballero. And now it's back onto the foot of Heimerall. And Heimerall will take a shot, and it's into the goal. And it's 4-0. And that goal scored in the 29th minute there by Taylor Heimerall. So exactly 10 minutes after the previous goal, Heimerall will score. And looks like going in for the Fusion here is Ellie Feeney, number 9. She's a defense. Scoring the goal for the Minnesota Thunder Academy in the 29th minute is number 27, Taylor Heimerl. Now they'll work an outlet pass to Heimerl, and she might have another opportunity here. She will put it back into the center there, and that one got deflected, and the Fusion was able to clear it out. Once again, check in for the Fusion just moments ago was number 9, Ellie Feeney. And now Heimerl will put another shot. This time it's not going to go in as easy as that last one did. Quinn Carter I don't think she was expecting Heimerl to take a shot there, to be honest with you. If she was, something tells me that she would have been a little bit more prepared for that. And now she'll definitely be keeping her eyes on her when that ball comes down the near side of the field, or in the second half when the ball comes down the far side of the field. Checking in now for the Fusion is Keely Johnston, number 20. Throw in will come inside of the penalty box, and another shot. Nice punch up there by Quinn Carter to get it up and over the crossbar. That'll be a corner kick, I think, from the near side. Or will they send it? They will send it over to the far side. Okay, and then that will be Paige Kalau, who scored the first goal of the game, who will take the corner kick. Kalau will send it in. And once again, she has nice placement there, and that one is into the back of the net, and I'm not sure who scored it. Let me see who they're going to congratulate here. That one I'm not sure on. Comes in the 32nd minute. All right, coming back now. Here's Rojas Collins, and now it's over on the far side as soon as I get that name said. And they'll put it back over here for McBean. McBean will tap it down. Nice control, and now she'll get around the defender. And McBean, and another nice save by Quinn Carter. McBean was trying for the far inside of that far post, and 9 times out of 10 she probably would have scored that. But Quinn Carter's been on her A game today. Outside of that one goal from Taylor Heimerl that she probably could have stopped if she would have had another opportunity to take a crack at that. But, man, like I said, outside of that one goal, all the goals have been not easy goals here for the Minnesota Thunder Academy as they now lead 5-0 here as we approach the 34th minute of play. They'll get it back here onto the foot of Andringa, who's back into the game. She came out momentarily. Now she's back in. Fusion staying with them on defense. It's kind of like a man-on-man defense, kind of like you'd see in the sport of basketball. At least in the upper parts, and then the defense is kind of like the zone of basketball. And that one's up over the crossbar and out of bounds for a goal kick here for Quinn Carter in the Fusion. So once again, now we're entering the 34th minute of play. Or actually, we're closing in on the 35th minute, but currently still in the 34th minute at the moment. Another nice kick there from Quinn Carter, and it's immediately controlled there by Seidel. And then taken away by Madeline Poor. I heard somebody out there say Maddie, so we'll go with Maddie because that one's a little bit easier to remember than Madeline. At least for me it is anyway. And out of bounds, I was looking down, writing down my notes there. I think it's a throw-in, but I'm not sure. And it is a fusion throw-in. And it'll immediately go out of bounds, and it'll be another fusion throw-in from about 15 yards further up the field. Now on the far side, one-on-one race there, but the ball goes a little bit too far forward, and it's taken control there by Grace Polito. And Polito making some moves, getting through 3-4 defenders there, and now she'll get the ball right back. Move it upfield, but it'll go out of bounds, and it'll be a Dakota Fusion throw-in, but just shy of midfield. But some nice moves there, as you might hear in the field, Mike. So we got a train track about maybe 20 feet behind our press box. So be patient for a couple minutes and that train will pass, I promise you. Here's the throw-in. And there you go. It didn't even take a couple minutes. That was a lot faster than I thought it would be. It's still kind of there, but it's a lot better than it was. They'll work it up here. That is Kelsey Kallio. Kallio will get it up onto the foot of Maddie Poor. Maddie Poor tries to send it in, and now that is Paige Peltier. Sends it back out here onto the foot of Kallio. Kallio will dish it back here for Andringa. And now they'll work it over to the far side. And Bailey sends it up, and was she offside? Yes, she was. The flag was up over on the far side, and looked like she had a good 3-4 feet in front of that final defender there, and that was an easy offsides call. We'll have another substitution here. It's coming back in for the Fusion now is Ashley Choman. We'll see if our PA announcer can get it right this time. Checking in for the Fusion, number 17, Ashley Choman. I heard a few cheers out there, so the PA announcer must have got it right that time. He was waiting for an opportunity after he messed up on the starting lineups there. So during halftime, we'll get confirmation on who scored that 5th goal. Couldn't quite see who it was, as there was about 3-4 white jerseys in front of the net there. Rojas Collins will send it up, and now it was on the foot momentarily there, Peltier, who, if she gets one more goal, she'll get a hat trick in this one. She scored her 2 goals in the 5th and the 19th minute. Fusion will toss it in. I think on the far side there, that was Feeney. They'll get it back to Rojas Collins. And she will deliver it up. Chested down, on the shoulder. It was close to a handball. Like, just remember, any part of the arm is considered a handball. And got maybe just on the front of the shoulder, down on her upper part of her chest there. So that was a close one. Anything from the fingertips all the way up to where your arm connects to your shoulder is considered a handball if that part of the body touches it. And we'll have a free kick coming up here for the Minnesota Thunder Academy. Coming up at halftime, we'll take a look at the current weather forecast and get you a recap of all the goal scoring in this one so far and get a couple clarifications just to make sure we got it right. a lady walked up to me before pregame. She's like, "Hey, are you the announcer?" And then handed me the sheet. And it's the same sheet that I went down to get. And I didn't realize who it was. And I didn't recognize her. And then I looked at her T-shirt and it said Minnesota Thunder Academy. I'm like, well, that's exactly why I didn't recognize her, because I originally thought she was somebody with the Fusion, handed me a sheet that I came down to get from somebody else. And then and then we all had a laugh about it down there. So, and then I went over name pronunciations with her, and she was happy to help me out with those. So. We'll get onto the foot there, Peltier, and now that's out of bounds. It'll be, I think, a Fusion throw-in, and it will be, yep. Check the current weather forecast here for you in a little bit. Somebody deleted the weather app on my phone, so I have to ask Siri what the weather forecast is. And Siri's being difficult with me today, so we'll check in with our official weather girl, Siri, at halftime. This one comes up here, and that is Staden, Kendall Staden. Staden with a centering pass. A little bit over the head of Peltier. Peltier was potentially in a position for a header there, but couldn't quite make that one happen. Throwing from the far side there for the Fusion, and trying to touch up on it there was Feeney. But the Thunder Academy will get it right back, and now the Fusion will get it right back. It's on the foot of Caden Sharp. And now they'll move it back into the center of the field. And Caden Sharp will get it right back. And now she'll send it onto the foot there of Cholman. And this is far side. I believe that's Staden. And that's out of bounds for a Minnesota Thunder Academy throw-in. Opportunity inside, but that'll roll over the end line, and it'll be a cold kick for the Dakota Fusion. It'll be a perfect opportunity for us to ask Siri, what's the weather forecast? And, of course, you have to add the word hey in there, I guess. So let's just do it. Hey, Siri, what's the weather forecast? 72 degrees here in Moorhead, and another nice save by Quinn Carter. .68, mostly cloudy. We do have a chance of rain in the 4 o'clock hour, but it's not a very high chance. So yeah, like I said, 68. Just like 36 hours ago, it was 92. So I mean, I appreciate this 68-degree day. You don't get them too often this time of the year up here in the northern part, or the eastern part of North Dakota, western part of Minnesota. As we enter the 43rd minute here, 5-0 lead. See how the officials feel. I would guess on a normal day they might do about 2 or 3 minutes of stoppage time, but sometimes the officials just go with a minute, it seems like, in some of these recent games. So we should get that signal here in the next 60 seconds or so. Rojas Collins will touch up on it there, being challenged closely there by Hallie Thompson. And now a whistle on a free kick for the Thunder Academy, as that infraction is going to go on the Fusion. No yellows or no cautions or send-offs in this game yet, and with any luck, it'll stay that way. You never want to see a player get too physical out there, or it draws one of those cards out, but very rarely could you say that a situation like that where it was warranted, but more on that later when I feel like doing more on that later. That one's out of bounds. I think that's a corner kick, and it will be here for the Minnesota Thunder Academy. It'll be Paige Kalau taking it. Thunder Academy have had a couple opportunities for goals off corner kicks. We'll see if they can get another one here. And that one is going to be one bounced into the hands of Quinn Carter. Quinn Carter will just boot it out. And it's a one-on-one challenge there, and it's won by the Minnesota Thunder Academy, but then the Fusion touch up on it, and they send it right onto the foot of Maddie Poore. Maddie Poore's had a couple good opportunities in this game, but no goals yet. Once again, the goals go to Paige Kalau, 2 of them to Paige Peltier, 1 to Taylor Himmerall, and then the 5th one we're going to get confirmation on here at halftime. And that'll do it. They're not going to waste any time with stoppage time here. They'll go right to halftime. So that will do it. And we'll take a break, and we'll be back here in a moment on Magnitude Sports. Stay tuned. All right, welcome back. As we're moments away from starting the second half. Correction on the first goal. I said it was number 10. It was actually number 4, Caitlin McBean. And that means she has 2 goals because she also scored the 5th goal. So it was the first and the 5th goal I wasn't sure on, and Caitlin McBean scored both those goals that I wasn't sure on. Goals 2, 3, and 4 I got right, so yes, go me. We'll recap that here as soon as the second half gets underway. All right, and the Fusion will get the second half kick here. Fusion going from right to left in the second half, while the Minnesota Thunder in their white and blue are going from left to right. So in the 3rd minute, it was 1-0 on the goal by Caitlin McBean. In the 5th minute, it was 2-0 on the goal by Paige Peltier. All right, we'll restart that here. 1-0 in the 3rd minute by Caitlin McBean. 2-0 in the 5th minute by Paige Peltier. 3-0 in the 19th minute by Paige Peltier. 4-0 in the 29th minute from Taylor Heimerall. And 5-0 in the 32nd minute from Caitlin McBean. And when I went down to talk to the Minnesota Thunder coach, Caitlin McBean was very happy to say it was me. So I'm not sure if that's like her first couple goals of the season. I'm guessing it's not. But like I said, she had a big smile on her face when I came down and asked who scored that 5th goal. So the Fusion will get a throw in here. Controlled and tried to pass it, but the Thunder will take it right back. Thunder Academy. Don't want anybody to confuse it with Sioux Falls. Some nice footwork there and ball control, and the centering pass comes off the back of the referee. And now a free kick is going to be awarded for the Minnesota Thunder as a result of that. I don't think I've ever seen that happen. So back to action now after a very short pause. So there's 2 things that I've learned in today's soccer game now. Oh, that could be a penalty kick. No, it looks like it was on the Thunder. Or let's see here. He hasn't put his hands up as an X yet, or has he? It will indeed be a penalty kick. Taking the penalty kick is Caitlin McBean. And she'll put it into the back of the net for a goal. And it's 6-0 in the 48th minute. Caitlin McBean scores her 3rd goal of the game. Scoring the goal on the PK, her third of the game, number 4, Caitlin McBean. And that one will be, I got to find my roster here again. It's Gregoire, I believe. Yep, Gregoire. All right, I'm back to action now here, so I got everything sorted out. Be a free kick here for the Fusion. 68 degrees, but the humidity is probably making it feel a little bit warmer than that. Either that or I'm doing too much work. One of the two, or maybe all three. And a loose ball comes up onto the foot of Peltier. She's looking for her third of the game, and she gets it. She nails it in from the near far post, and it's a quick 7-0 ball game for the 7-0 Minnesota Thunder Academy. And that goal comes in the 50th minute. And Paige Peltier gets her third. Scoring the goal for the Thunder in the 50th minute. Her third of the game, number 42, Paige Peltier. That'll roll over the end line there. That'll be a Thunder Academy goal kick for Catherine Gregoire. Haven't had to say her name too many times. Gregoire will boot that one out. And that kind of looked like a handball, but the official just tapped his shoulder and said it went on top of the shoulder. So that's no handball in that case, as I already explained that arm theory right before halftime. I don't know if I've ever called an actual handball in the Dakota Fusion broadcast. Everybody seems to keep their hands off the ball, which is exactly what you're supposed to do at this level of soccer, at all levels of soccer for that matter. Nice pass up front there, and running up for it is Choman, but she will not catch up to it before Gregoire does, and Gregoire will roll it out to the near side here as the Thunder will move it up. And that's headed out of bounds there by McKenna Bishop. With it now is Kallio. And Kelsey Kallio will have that one cleanly taken away. Nice job by Blake Hurley. Blake Hurley tried to get the pass, but it was intercepted there by Caballero. And now Peltier inside and trying to avoid the foul for the Fusion. She put her hands up, and then when Peltier went to the ground, she put her left foot on it and sent it out of bounds. So being cautious and aware at the same time, that's always a good thing. That one's punched out of bounds, and I think that'll be a corner kick here for the Minnesota Thunder Academy. And it will be. In taking the corner kick here is Kelsey Kallio. That one's headed up, and it hits the upright of the football field goal, and that'll be a goal kick. Or no, who touched it last? It'll be another corner kick, as it was a Fusion player who headed it up and out. Official checking with the Fusion player there. She looked a little shaken up, but she appears to be okay, because it wasn't a very long conversation between her and the official. That one's sent in, and it's across the face of the goal and to the opposite side, out of bounds over the end line for a goal kick for Quinn Carter. So Quinn Carter will put it down right outside of the penalty box, or the goal box, I should say. Maddie Poor touching up on it, and she still has it. Now she'll drop it back. And that's Rojas Collins. She'll work it up, far side. Looking for a centering pass, and the centering pass is deflected, and a nice job. I think she got on the left side of the flag, and that'll be a throw-in instead of a corner kick. And off the throw-in, the Fusion try and take it back. Now they're looking for a centering pass, but the only one there was Allie Thart for the Fusion. So Thunder Academy get it right back, though. They get it right back onto the foot of Peltier. Peltier trying to make a move. Centering pass is there, but it's booted away there by Morgan Batchelor. Out of bounds for a throw-in. Seven 0 here as we enter the 55th minute, almost the 56th minute now of this contest. That one far sideline, and last, was it touched by the Thunder Academy player? I think it was. Yep, and it will be a Dakota Fusion throw-in. No, I guess it will not. It'll be a Minnesota Thunder Academy throw-in. Work the ball across midfield there on the foot of Maddie Poor. Maddie Poor will drop it back. They'll look to the near side, and they'll send it over here onto the foot of Kallio. And Kallio will try and bring it up the near sideline. Being defended closely there by Blake Hurley. She'll get it up onto the foot of Peltier. Peltier, and a nice defensive play there. They'll poked out of bounds by Bishop. And that'll be a corner kick here for the Thunder Academy, and there'll be Kallio who taking that free kick, or that corner kick. That's a stat I've been meaning to add to our broadcast, is the number of corner kicks taken. I haven't been able to do it yet because I've been out of town and busy with other broadcasts as well, but that's something I plan to merge into our broadcasts for at least next season if I don't get it in by the end of this season, which is coming up on the horizon here. I think we only have 2 games left after today for home games for the men and women's Fusions team. Kallio send it in. Nice placement on the corner kick. Nobody there at the moment anyway, and then it was deflected out. And now they'll battle for it. And Maddie Poor will send it over near side here for Kallio. Kallio will get around Blake Hurley, or at least try to. Centering pass there, and it's into the back of the net. I think it might be an own goal. And it's 8-0 here in the 57th minute of play. So there's another one. I'm not sure who got it. All right, so according to what I was just informed, the own goal will actually be charged to the Fusion player. And Morgan Batchelor will be the unfortunate one to put it into her own net. So an unfortunate own goal there to make it 8-0 in favor of the Minnesota Thunder Academy. And now touching up on it here for the Thunder Academy is Grace Polito. They'll center it onto the foot of Peltier. Peltier will quickly pass it off there. And now they'll get it back onto the foot of Adringa. And Dringa with ball control. Feeds a nice pass onto the foot there of McBean, who has 3 goals in this game, 2 plus a penalty kick. And now McBean will try and control it again. She'll send it out near side for Callio. Callio will drop it back there onto the foot of Caballero. And now that one will squeak through. And Morgan Batchelor will say, not going into the back of my net this time. And she'll boot it out to the near sideline there. But yeah, don't let the 8-0 score fool you there. Oh man. More on that thought here in just a moment there, but that was a close call from Quinn Carter. It was almost 9-0 there. But like I said, and that's a great example to segue into what I was going to say is the Minnesota Thunder have had a bunch of opportunities that most teams would probably score against most goalies, but tonight Quinn Carter, has been absolutely on her A game. And I know that's kind of odd to hear, especially if you're just tuning in and you're like, oh, how is she on her A game if she's let 8 goals in? Well, like I said, it could easily be about 15-16-0 right now if she wouldn't have done the work between the net that she has done right now. It's another corner kick. Callio will send it in, and it's over the top. The closest one who had an opportunity on it there was Grace Polito, but it'll go out of bounds, and it'll be a Fusion throw-in from the far side. Substitution coming up at the next break in action here for the Fusion. Looks like we might have some substitutes for Minnesota Thunder Academy as well. Up the near side here is McBean. McBean gets around the defender. Now she gets around a second defender, puts it up top, and she was trying to place it perfectly for Callio. Callio kind of lost it, and now they'll work it back inside, and Petir puts it a little bit wide left. But even after the misfire on the pass there, they recovered quickly and got it back to Petir, and she put it just a foot or so to the left of the left goal post. And checking in for the Fusion now is Keely Johnston. And also checking in for the Minnesota Thunder is Paige Kalau. So just a correction from what I said a few times in the first half. Paige Kalau does not have that first goal. That goal is credited to Caitlin McBean. So no goals up to this point for Kalau. It's nice passing as they get back onto the foot of Callio. And Callio looking to do something with it, and it went through the feet of her teammate on the pass. He'll come back out, but right there is Polito. Polito to Petir. Now the pass gets deflected to the far side, still controlled by the Minnesota Thunder Academy. And then losing it momentarily there was Ashley Thurk, and now the Fusion have it. Fusion tries centering pass that's intercepted there by Caballero. And they'll drop it back here onto the foot of Caroline Bailey. Bailey will send it up. That's Callio again. Callio will make a move inside. Centering pass gets by the Fusion defender, and they've got it over onto the foot there of Darren Adringa. And now Petir with a quick tap pass over to the far side. Now can they set up a centering pass opportunity here? They will get it in front of the net, and Morgan Batchelor sends it right back to where it came from. I guess that's one instance where you probably don't want to clear it out to the sideline, to be honest with you. And that one tipped out of bounds. It will be a Dakota Fusion goal kick. As the last one to touch it there for the Minnesota Thunder Academy was Kendall Stadden, number 14. Battle for control of the ball, just shy of midfield. The Thunder Academy will come away with it. Grace Polito was not polite enough to give the ball back to the Fusion, and I maybe did do that on purpose, but hopefully you enjoyed it. This is Paige Kalau. And now they'll work it up. I think, oh, and another nice save by Quinn Carter as Petier had an opportunity for her fourth goal of the game. And with Carter's save, the Fusion able to get a foot on it and clear it out to at least midfield. Loose ball picked up by Khalil, and they'll try and reset and start again here. Or Khalil, I'm sorry. Khalil with I think she intended a pass, but it kind of came off her foot wrong and went up to the right side of the goal, and there'll be a goal kick here for the Fusion. So, once again, 8-0 here in the 65th minute of play. And now Blake Hurley will pick it up. Get a quick pass here for, let's see, that was number 16, Ava Kieser, into the lineup. I didn't see her sneak into it. I think it's the first time I've seen her in the lineup tonight. And I don't know, in my humble opinion, I think she was a hair offside, but the near sideline official did not throw up the flag. So it was very close. And I believe that is Peltier on the far side. Yeah, it was. And Peltier was the one who was either right on with the defender or the one I thought was maybe just a little bit offside when that pass was made to her. But that's why the officials are on the field and I'm up here in the press box, because they have a better look down on the field. So that one popped up and wide right. Can the Fusion get one on the board here and avoid a shutout? I think that's probably the goal right now here as we reach the 67th minute. They were able to get a goal against Salvo. It was, for lack of better wording, an easier goal opportunity than that one that they got against Salvo, but a goal is a goal no matter how you get it. So Fusion will touch up on it, send it right back here to Carter. Carter will boot it up, and along the near sideline here, it will be controlled by Morgan Batchelor. Tap it back to the defense. They'll try and work it up the far sideline, and she kind of stumbled on her feet. I don't think she would have caught up to that one anyway, but with the stumbling, she definitely won't catch up to it. And now the Thunder Academy will come up the far sideline here. They got a little bit of numbers here and space too, and a nice poke away. And now they'll get it upfield, and it's touched up initially there by Ashley Choman. And they're looking for another opportunity. Centering pass is there, and it's defended well by Ava Kieser. It'll result in a far side corner kick for the Minnesota Thunder Academy, but when a goal is a goal, defense is also defense. And whenever you stop a goal, that's a good thing, or stop an opportunity for a goal. Well, corner kick's a little high, and it goes on top of the net. So that'll be a goal kick here for Quinn Carter in the Fusion. Fusion coach encouraging the team to get up the field here. And now we'll have a substitution as McKenna Bishop will come in, and that will give a breather for, I can't see who that is at the moment. It is Mason Kimball, who will be replaced by McKenna Bishop. Work it onto the foot here of Caballero. And now Callio will send it up for Peltier. And Peltier will make a nice move to the inside, and she'll put the pass right in for Callio, but stepping in on foot of it was Polito. And now it's deflected out by the Fusion defense. Over to the far sideline. It'll go out of bounds for a Thunder Academy throw-in. And we'll have another substitution here for the Fusion. Coming in is Ellie Feeney. And that will give Morgan Batchelor a breather on the sideline. The far side official put the flag up. He was out of camera. I'm not sure what the flag was for, but now play will continue, and the Thunder Academy looking to, a nice guarding of that far post there by Quinn Carter as she cut off the angle that I think it was Peltier who's coming in had, and as a result, it'll result in a corner kick. And as long as the Fusion can defend it successfully, then it turned out to be a great defensive play for Quinn Carter. And the Fusion do defend it. Oh, and what's the whistle for? She wasn't offsides because it was on the other side of midfield. She was in front of that last defender, but that's not an offsides on this side of the field, at least in all the soccer rules that I'm familiar with. Unless they possibly called a foul, and if they did, I didn't see the foul. All I saw was what looked like offside, but obviously on the same side of midfield, you can't be offside. So we'll put that in the pass. We'll probably chalk it up as a foul, and I simply didn't see it. Nice job there by Quinn Carter to come out and cover that one up. Nice boot by Carter. Gets it up, one bounce over to midfield and headed up even further there by Ashley Choman. But it'll roll all the way back to Gregoire. And Gregoire will put it out to the near side, and they'll work it up onto the foot of Callio. Callio will just keep it in, drop it right back. And that is that's Caroline Bailey. Couldn't quite tell right away. And now they'll try and get it on the foot of Alicia Ipina. Ipina, there we go. I didn't write my H. It looked like my H looked like an L. So here's Callio again, and a centering pass, and a nice turnaround there by Petier, but also better defense by the Fusion. Now coming up here, and then it's poked out of bounds by Grace Polito. That was Ava Kieser who had the ball. And immediately on the throw-in, the Minnesota Thunder Academy get it right back. Currently it's on the foot of Paige Kalau. Kalau will send it over to the far side. Racing after it was Thirk, but it'll go out of bounds. That'll be a Fusion throw-in. And looks like taking the throw-in here for the Fusion will be Keely Johnston. Johnston will toss it in. It was intended for Choman, and it goes right back out of bounds, and Johnston will throw it in a second time from about 5 yards further up the field. We have a pending substitution here for the Fusion. Coming in sooner than later will be Jensen Seidel. And she'll be coming in sooner, like right about now. Well, the second substitution here, that looks like 20-something, 25. That is Allie Tharp, who will be coming in, and she'll be coming in right now as well, as they'll allow the substitution here in the 74th minute of play. So Blake Hurley will come out and get a breather on the sideline, and now we'll have that throw-in from Keely Johnston on the far side. And there's some nice passing there, and now can they set something up? Centering pass, one bounce, and it's covered up there by Gregoire. That's probably, from memory, the hardest save that Gregoire's had to make this game. And that's not to say the Fusion haven't had their opportunities. Here's Patoir. She has 3 goals. Will she have a 4th one here soon? No, but another nice save by Quinn Carter. These are some goals that I expect to go into the back of the net, but Quinn Carter is exceeding expectations. And reports from some Fusion fans say that Quinn Carter has been fantastic the last couple of games, and I suppose after you lose 14-1 that you're going to step up your game. It's like, hey, nobody's getting 14 goals past me ever again, the kind of the mentality. Of course, we only cover the home games. I'd love to cover some of the road games, but maybe in the future, we'll see. Schedule's pretty tight as it is to get the home games in. And Petir wide right. Petir nearly had her 4th goal of the game there, and a great chance coming in the 76th minute. Substitutions here for Minnesota Thunder Academy. We got 4, 12, and 27. So coming in is Caitlin McBean, who has 3 goals in this one. Also Maddie Poor, and also Taylor Heimerall, who has 1 goal. So 3 players check in. Those 3 players account for 3 of the 8 goals scored by the Minnesota Thunder Academy in this game so far. Did I say 3? I think I meant to say 4. They account for half of the goals scored in this game. Caitlin McBean with 3, and then Taylor Heimerall with 1. Taylor got her goal back in the 29th minute to make it 4-0 in favor of the Minnesota Thunder Academy. Here's another opportunity that's defensively taken away by the Fusion. And now they got a 2-on-3 situation here, and she could not get it past the defender. Jensen Seidel tried to do a little trickery to pass the ball to herself, and the Minnesota Thunder Academy defense was like, nope, not going to happen this time. And sometimes that trickery does work. Yeah, I played soccer in high school, and I've passed it to myself a few times successfully, so certainly nothing wrong with trying that. Here's another opportunity. It's punched down, and then, nice job there by Quinn Carter, as it was Kendall Stadden who had the opportunity there. And then Quinn Carter just punched that one down to the ground. It rolled out in front. She went out and dived on top of it there to make sure that no other opportunity was available at that point in the game. They'll try the through ball, and can she catch up to it? No, it looks like they'll roll over the end line, and that will be a goal kick here for the Minnesota Thunder Academy. So the Minnesota Thunder Academy are likely going to improve to 8-0-1 in the season here in about 12 minutes or so. And it's been don't let that score fool you. It's been a pretty entertaining game here. Maybe a little bit more entertaining if you're a Thunder Academy fan, but it's been entertaining nonetheless. And McKenna Bishop will watch that one go out of bounds, and that will be a corner kick here for the Minnesota Thunder Academy. as we enter the 79th minute. Goals in the 3rd, 5th, 19th, 29th, and 32nd minutes of the first half. And so far here in the second half, goals in the 48th, 50th, and 57th minute. That 57th minute goal to make it 8-0 was an own goal by the Dakota Fusion. So no player for the Minnesota Thunder Academy will get credit for that particular goal. Unlike in the sport of hockey, if an own goal is scored, it goes to the last person on the offensive team that touched the ball, but not the case here in the sport of soccer. So now the 80th minute here. Score a goal about every 45 seconds, and they'll be right back in this one. And I say that with a little sarcastic humor here. Got to inject some sort of comedy into this game for the Fusion fans watching, who may be a little disappointed right now, but battling forward on the far side is Jensen Seidel. Fusion will control it. Quickly onto the foot there of Madeline Eder, and Eder a couple passes later gets up onto the foot of Allie Tharp. And now a shot from deep and a couple of hops, and it's right into the arms of Catherine Gregoire, but we talked about that early in the first half. They cannot be afraid to shoot when they have a shot that's available, no matter how far away from the goal that it is, because you just never know when those goals might sneak into the back of the net. We saw one of those type of goals for the Minnesota Thunder Academy here, as that pass sends Emily Larson to the ground. Play will continue there, as working it on the near side is Stadden. Stadden's had a few opportunities this game, but just didn't quite go her way yet. Trying to turn and spin, and it's her 4th goal of the game. It's Caitlin McBean with her 4th goal of the game in the 81st minute to make it 9-0. Scoring the goal for the Minnesota Thunder, her 4th of the game, number 4, Caitlin McBean. So the 81st minute goal for Caitlin McBean makes it 9-0. And now they'll send it back in, and can they create yet another opportunity? And it's gonna be, I don't know how they didn't get that one into the back of the net, but Quinn Carter was able to scramble back thanks to a couple lucky bounces, or maybe better worded, a couple unlucky bounces for the Minnesota Thunder Academy. And she was able to scramble back and prevent this from being a double-digit deficit here. And ironically, it would have been number 10 who would have scored the 10th goal had things worked out. And we'll have another substitution here for the Fusion. Mason Kimball will come back into the game. She'll be wearing number 26. I believe it's Emily Larson who came out, and it was. So Kimball in for Larson for the Fusion here in the 83rd minute of play. They'll work it back to Caroline Bailey. And Bailey will send it up here to Ashley Thirk. Thirk will look upfield, and that pass is deflected there by Ellie Feeney. And free ball, and now the Fusion will take it up the field. Nice pass. And another nice pass, and it gets right in front of the running feet of Allie Tharp. And Tharp tries to make a move around the defender, centers it in. It's a little high as they tried to get the centering pass in there for the header attempt. And I believe that was Jensen Seidel who was in there for that header. But I don't have heights of the players, but if Jensen Seidel's 5'6", if she would have been 5'7", she would have had possibly a header goal on that one there. I mean, it was just a little bit high. And misfired there. It was the right idea, but Caden Sharp couldn't make the connection on it. And now 1-on-2 back the other way. 1-on-3 if you include Quinn Carter. And now Caitlin McBean looking for number 5, and she gets it. And it's 10-0 here as she scores that one just as we hit the 85th minute. 85 minutes and 1 second to be exact. Or 84:01 is what I meant to say. So that's her 5th of the game. Scoring the goal for the Thunder in the 85th minute. Number 4, Caitlin McBean, her 5th of the game. So 10-0 now here in the 85th minute as we close in on the 86th minute of play. And now another pass, or not a pass, but a shot will go wide left. And I believe that came off the foot of Maddie Poor, who got up after that shot, kind of stumbling a little bit there, but she's walking it off and looks like she'll be okay. And she is okay. She's right in on the defense there off that goal kick. And now the Minnesota Thunder get it back. And they're looking for another opportunity. The shot got deflected, and it's going to be a corner kick as the Fusion cannot get there in time to keep it in bounds. So it'll be a corner kick here for the Minnesota Thunder Academy. And ooh, that was a nicely placed corner kick. And I think it was deflected out by a Fusion player, so I think it's going to be another corner kick here. Taking the last corner kick and this corner kick is Paige Kalau. That one's headed into the back of the net, and it's 11-0 here for the Minnesota Thunder Academy. And zooming in on with my own eyeballs, it is I think it's McKenna McBean again. And it is. So she scores in the 85th and the 87th minute here, back-to-back goals. Her 6th of the game, and she has, I don't know if there's such thing as a double hat trick or not, but we'll make it up right now for her. Caitlin McBean not only has a hat trick, but on her second hat trick, she scored the last 3 goals in a row. She scored goals 9, 10, and 11 for the Minnesota Thunder Academy, and she's having a great day here at Jim Gata Stadium. Scoring the goal in the 87th minute, her 6th of the game, number 4, Caitlin McBean. That throw-in is right back out to the sideline, and they'll get it about a yard closer than the previous throw-in here. So she'll get a running start on this throw-in here. She'll try and make it the equivalent of a corner kick, and it's headed right out there by the Minnesota Thunder Academy, but controlled by the Fusion. Pushed back to the outside, and a quick pass inside onto the foot there of Ashlyn Choman, and it goes a little bit wide right. I said Ashlyn. I meant to say Ashley. My apologies. Fusion, though, even though they're down 11-0, they're still giving it their all here and looking to get at least one goal in this game. Forgot to hit the button there for that last goal for Minnesota Thunder Academy, but 10 of 11 isn't bad, right? Second half goals in the 48th, 50th, 57th, 81st, 85th, and 87th minute for the Minnesota Thunder Academy. Carolyn Bailey will touch up on it here and send it near side onto the foot of Ashley Thurk. Thurk will work it up the near sideline. She's looking inside. Now she'll take it herself down the near sideline. Try and get around that final defender, and that was a clean slide tackle there. Nicely done by Ellie Feeney. Quickly back inside, and Feeney will take it away in the near corner, and they'll battle for it, and it'll be McBean centering pass, and it's across the face of the goal. I think it was intended for Kendall Stadden. I was talking about her earlier. She's had some opportunities. They just haven't worked out for her, and that's another opportunity right there. She was right in front of the goal, had a wide open net, but the pass didn't quite connect. And now off the throw-in, one bounce, it's into the hands of Quinn Carter, and she'll boot it away. Touchdown there immediately by Grace Polito, and now the Thunder Academy come right back, looking for another opportunity, put up high over the crossbar and out of bounds. Goal kick for the Dakota Fusion. So we are now into stoppage time here. Probably have maybe 1 to 2 minutes of stoppage time, and that's about it. And they'll pass it along their defenseman. Carolyn Bailey has it now, and right up to the foot of Thurk. And that'll do it. Just about a minute into stoppage time, and your final score here in this one will be the Minnesota Thunder Academy 11 and the Dakota Fusion 0 here in this one here. It was a tough game here for the Dakota Fusion. They certainly had a few opportunities that they just couldn't quite cash in on. And despite the 11 goals given up, Carter Quinn had a fantastic day in between the net. You cannot take credit away from Quinn Carter. I keep mixing up her first and last name, and I apologize for that. But like, you can't take any credit away from Quinn Carter for giving up 11 goals, because she made some spectacular saves back in the first half, as well as a couple here in the second half. And this could easily be more than 11 goals for the Minnesota Thunder Academy. But, the Fusion get a couple of teams ranked in the top 15 of the power rankings, for the league-wide power rankings over the last 4 games. And then they get a couple more games against top teams in the conference. And it can be tough, and it can work out like that. So, unfortunately, it's not going to be a win today for the Dakota Fusion, but congratulations to the Minnesota Thunder Academy as they win 11-0. 1-0 in the third minute by Caitlin McBean, who scored her first of the game. In the 5th minute, it'd be 2-0 with a goal by Paige Peltier. In the 19th minute, it'd be 3-0 on another goal by Paige Peltier. And then 10 minutes later, in the 29th minute, Taylor Heimerall, would get on the board, and she would make it 4-0 in favor of the Minnesota Thunder Academy. And then in the 32nd minute, Caitlin McBean would get her second goal of the game and make it 5-0, and 5-0 would be our score going into halftime. So they scored 5 in the first and 6 in the second half, and the 6th goal came in the 48th minute when Caitlin McBean would score her hat trick and her third of the game. And then 2 minutes later, it would be Paige Peltier scoring her third of the game and getting a hat trick to make it 7-0 in the 50th minute. Fast forward to the 57th minute, it would be 8-0 on an own goal by the Dakota Fusion's Morgan Batchelor. That's not quite how the Fusion want to score a goal, but that will be credited as an own goal to Morgan Batchelor. And then in the 81st minute, it'd be 9-0 on the goal scored by Caitlin McBean, her 4th of the game. 10-0 4 minutes later by Caitlin McBean in the 85th minute for her 5th of the game. And 2 minutes later in the 87th minute, Caitlin McBean would score again to make it 11-0, and that is your final here today. Thank you so much for tuning in. Whether you're cheering on the Minnesota Thunder Academy or whether you're cheering on the Dakota Fusion, know the numbers on the scoreboard probably weren't where you want them to be for Fusion fans. And congratulations once again to the Minnesota Thunder Academy, and we wish your team the best of luck in your final couple games of the season coming up here. Once again, thanks so much, and your final one more time is 11-0, and we'll be back on Saturday, I believe it is, when the Dakota Fusion men will take on LC Aris here at Jim Gana Stadium in Moorhead. For the Dakota Fusion, this is their last home game. They will have 2 more games, and they'll both be on the road, so we wish the Fusion the best of luck in those final 2 games, and crossing our fingers that they can pick up a win this season and avoid a winless season here. It's not going to be easy, but it can be done. They've played some close games this year. I know this game wasn't close, but they have played some close games against some very good teams this year. So we're hoping they can get at least 1 win this season and build off that for next season. All right, I'll take it off air, and we'll talk to you Saturday with the Dakota Fusion men taking on LC Aris here on Magnitude Sports, the Dakota Fusion YouTube channel, and 11 Sports. Thanks so much for tuning in, and have a great evening.
Broadcast was an exclusive presentation of the Magnitude Sports Network. Subscribe, click the bell, and visit magnitudesn.com for a schedule of our upcoming broadcasts.